this video, I'll share some very basic information about bandwidth and the steps involved in using JackTrip software. JackTrip should be used on Ethernet, not Wi-Fi. You can get a rough estimate of your bandwidth at a site like speedtest.net. And for those who are adventurous or have the computer skills, the typical tool for advanced network analysis is called iPerf. Each site that is connecting has to have sufficient bandwidth, and you can't share it with your partner, unfortunately. Most important, bandwidth does not guarantee quality of service because there are many factors in networking beyond simply the speed of your network. The amount of bandwidth required to use JackTrip depends on your needs, the number of channels, the sample rate, the number of sites. But for a decent quality connection between two sites, a simple connection, it's unlikely you'll get good results with less than 5 megabits per second, both upload-download speed, and at least 10 megabits per second or more is recommended. I've listed here the bandwidth that we had when we recorded the duo excerpts in the part 1 video, and as you can see, upload speeds are typically much lower here in the United States. Any audio hardware that you can use with your computer can be used with JackTrip. It does not require purchasing anything. And again, it's free and open source. And I do recommend using an external audio interface and microphone because even the inexpensive ones make a big difference. Using built-in computer mics and speakers is rarely enough sound quality to perform music with people. Here's a list of the basic steps involved with this work. The first is to install the software, and that can be a little bit challenging because JackTrip itself is command line software. And as well, you need to connect your audio hardware if you're using any. The next is to set up port forwarding on your network at home. Typically this is required, sometimes it might not be, but this is a complicated topic that I'm not going to discuss in this video series. You can find information about it online, and I recommend more than that you actually find someone who knows about this to help you, because introducing port forwarding into your network is a potential security risk and it needs to be handled carefully. It's optional, but I highly recommend that you test locally first, which means getting audio into and out of your own system using the Jack audio routing environment. I'm not going to cover that in depth here, but in the next video, I'll show a brief demonstration of using the JackTrip software to connect to somebody else and the basic tools. And you'll also, of course, need to be able to troubleshoot problems because they will happen. So you may need help with that if you're not experienced with digital audio or computer networking. Finally, it's important to understand that each site involved with a connection has to install and run the software, not just one. For more details, please see the other videos in this series and also the page linked below in the notes. Thanks for listening.